What is up, guys, and welcome back to another review on my channel. I'm your host, The Big Rob Theory, and let's get into this. So here we are again, another week with the infamous Loki, and this week is the week before the season finale. And in this episode, quite a few things happen and quite a few people make appearances, a lot of which, or all of which, are Variant Lokis. And I am very, very happy with the nostalgia that we're getting with these comic book characters. We got classic Loki played by Richard E. Grant. You have boastful Loki, and then you have Kid Loki and Gator Loki. Gator Loki's behind everything, all right? Let's all stop playing the fool here. It's freaking Gator Loki. Come on. No, but seriously, it is great to see these variations of Loki, especially because I read up on Kid Loki. When was it? It was like 3 weeks ago, maybe? I want to say 3 weeks ago. I was going through comics and going through various things because I want to get more knowledgeable. I know a lot about various things, but I'm the first one to tell you that I don't know a lot about other things. Loki is one of my favorite Marvel characters, but the different versions of him I was a little askew on. Like, I knew about them, but seeing Kid Loki in action and boastful Loki and also classic Loki was just awesome. My boy Gator Loki, of course. This episode was just really, really well done. It was definitely better than last week's. I loved last week's episode, don't get me wrong. The way how it ended kind of left me a little, not stifled, but just like a little on edge. Like, I mean, it's supposed to, but I wanted to definitely see more throughout the episode. And I'm glad that we got that with this episode. And at the end of it, we see a castle, and now I'm not sure if this is where we're going, but hear me out. I know that there's a lot to do with like a future version of Ravonna Renslayer and Kang the Conqueror and Revelation, so I'm not really sure if that's what we're getting here, but it seems like we're getting real set up for Kang the Conqueror, guys. Like, I know I said it in last week's video, but I don't know, there's just a lot of things going on here. There's a lot. I loved how they threw like a little Easter egg in there, like a tiny Thor, like a classic looking Thor in a little jar with a giant Mjolnir, and he's trying to reach at it. That was pretty funny, I will say. Kind of sad, but pretty funny. And seeing President Loki walk in with like different variant Lokis that look like ragtag hood rats, that was awesome. I love what they're doing here with this Disneyplus series, and the question remains, what happens next week? Who is really behind the TVA? We see that Sylvie and Loki succeed in a certain avenue, but not actually getting to who is behind the TVA. So I'm not thinking next week we find out. We find out, and whoever it is in that castle. There's various theories about who could possibly be in that castle, but I'm going to wait to say anything about that until it actually happens. Gotta keep some spice in this, So seeing all the Lokis interact with each other was not just funny to watch, but it was actually pretty iconic to me and very, very important, because we see Richard E. Grant say something when he's walking, and he's saying, oh, we just can't trust each other. We always have to betray everyone who ever loved us. Never change. We never change. And you see the Loki that we know right now, and he's just kind of in the back, and that's where the great directing and acting comes into play, because you see the Loki in the back, and he's just like, on his face you can read that he's saying, but why does it need to be like that? Like, why do we need to be this way? That's the vibe that I got from our variant Loki. Kid Loki said his Nexus event was he killed Thor. I know in the various comics and various versions of the comics, Thor and Kid Loki are, pretty close until, something happens and Thor gets mad at Kid Loki, and then Kid Loki's like, you're just like the rest of them, So it's interesting to see these versions of these characters, because it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. Come on, like, this is dope. In the void where all these people are, these variants and people who get pruned, they are in this void, and they are being not necessarily hunted, but they are being trapped there by this being called Alioth, which is in essence a world eater, or just a matter eater, and anything that pops up there in the void, it goes after. Or if these variants come around close enough to where Alioth can sense them or see them, whatever, Alioth will go after them. Alioth is also the one that is hiding the true person who is in control of the TVA. I want to know if it's going to be Kang the Conqueror. Is it the future Ravonna Renslayer? Is it Gator Loki? It's Gator Loki. My money's on Gator Loki. Or is it, and hear me out, or is it a version of Loki where he actually succeeded in everything he set out to do and more? Like Richard E. Grant's character said, he succeeded with a lot of things and he just wanted to separate himself. He just wanted to be alone. So what if there's a version of Loki that not only succeeded with everything, but kept going? You know, like he did not stop, not necessarily just with the 9 realms, but also with other things in the multiverse. You know, like what if he just didn't stop and this is all part of his glorious purpose too? There's multiple things, there's multiple avenues that we can go at here. And I love it. I love that there's multiple avenues. I love seeing the different theories from people. I love having my own theories. Some of them I won't share because personally they just, some of them just don't make any sense, to be real with you. And I'm not going to waste your time and energy and effort to come here to this video to talk about some stuff that just doesn't make any sense. But at the same time, it's nice to discuss different theories, you know? So what did you guys think? Like, what was your favorite part of this episode? And what do you think is going to happen in next week's episode? I can honestly say I did not expect to see the classic Loki, Richard E. Grant's character, get killed like that. That was sad, but I think that was iconic. That also was iconic because he showed Loki that they are way more powerful than they believe. And that's what Loki said. He's like, we're way more powerful than we realize. And look at that. He learned how to enchant by the end of the episode, you know? So it's crazy that this is the kind of Loki that we're getting. Loki from the 2012 Avengers movie, who literally, he said it in the void. He's like, a few days ago, I was just fighting the Avengers and now I'm here. Like, it's crazy because he hasn't stopped. He really hasn't stopped. But thank you for joining me in another Big Rob Theory video. I've had a blast, and hopefully you have enjoyed what you've been watching and hearing. Please leave a like and a comment down below, and subscribe if you aren't, and hit the bell so that you can get some notifications, man. That's all, folks. Until the next one.